see you. What are you doing, Bruce? Bruce. All right. So I am going to get the 7 orders for today. Then I got some stacks of DVDs need to put away. Maybe at least get to this box of CDs. And then there's stacks of books. Hopefully that won't take too long. I put the spare tire on the Fiesta, and yet we still have to drive 45 minutes south. Then I got to drive a little more, then back, then drop the car off. I don't know why. Something happened to the tire. Reason why I got flat, but I don't want that. I got a bunch of. I don't know how many books I got up. Probably 40 past couple days. So 7 orders, 185. Yesterday was 4 orders for 98. I already have 3 people on. Wow, okay. Look at this. Fortunately, I charged this up the other day. Not really. Get on here so I can. Makes it a little easier to see comments. All right. I'm going to close out of this one. And for anyone who's interested, the band that's playing is called Anti-Flag. So the first one, Angels of Children's Choir. So there's a box of that CDs, which has probably 30-something CDs in it. Probably 30-something DVDs. About 50 books need put away. Books just kind of get in the way as I'm sitting there doing some scrap stuff. This is sealed. All right, so this Angels is $10 going across the pond. This Hillsong, it's either going to be in that box or this box. Oh. And Hillsong is new. I don't think any of this in here are new. But I did see a New Kids on the Block CD in there. Hillsong. So this one, you can actually read that the correct way because on the back of this, it's spelled backwards. So there, you can see it correct way. But Hillsong United, I picked up 2 of these at a thrifty. $28. Hillsong is contemporary Christian. And that one's sealed. Stand alone, they're not much, but sealed, worth a lot more. Bruce. Project Restore, The Great Controversy. Got to get a book. I think that's the only one. That, then a tape, and a pair of frames. So this book, Project Restore, The Great Controversy, $23. It's cool looking, kind of fuchsia color. Son of a Beach. This one I've had for a while. Son of a Beach. All right, retirement funds on that one. $8. Tarot, Blu-ray, 24. Oh, it's in a standard DVD case. Tarot, X-Library, $14. A Highwayman, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson. $13. And then get these and why they're not labeled for which box they're in, I don't know. Well, probably because I didn't label them. I think these are them anyhow. They are. These Love Shack Fancy sunglasses. $70. 70. I've had them for probably a year. But Love Shack Fancy, when I type these up, I'll tell you what, some are, I mean, this is probably a lower priced one. Some are $200, $300, $400. August of 20. I don't know. The date stamp is cut off right there. But they sold regardless. So I think it was maybe last year. So $70. All right. I didn't even see you on there since. I just went in there where the TV's at to go put the stuff down on the table where I got to package it up, and I saw, yeah. So that's that for the orders. Yeah, if it wasn't for that $70 pair of glasses, it would have been just over $118 or over $100 for 6 orders. A little better than yesterday. But my current listings, I mean, I need to get to it anyhow. So that's the sales video right there. That's it. Now I got to get to getting the stuff put away. So, I mean, I got the DVDs up, and then 3 days of books. But not many books each day, 15, 17 books each day. Just because of the totality of what they are, the size of them. 2,786 listings. And I got over 2,800 because I made a comment on a Facebook post like, yeah, I'm just at 2,800 or something. I think it was heap of scrap. I think it's the Facebook page. A lot of them I don't belong to. I'll just jump on there. If they have something that's prudent, I'll respond. And that one was about how much at least they're figuring and other sellers figuring and other information they got. But if you're 4,000 to 5,000 listings, your sales ratio should be about XYZ and so on and so forth. And it's like, that rings about true because they were saying like someone was at 56 something. And, they're however it was like, yeah, that rings true. I'm about half the total amount of listings, a little more than half the total amount in sales. But that does ring true that, after a certain amount of listings. So, I mean, I've usually always tried to be at 3,000 because 3,000 is pretty much, to me, damn near at or just over 3,000 listings. It's going to be easily every week will be $1,000 payout. I've just been under the 3,000 listing, and even at that, 2,900 is low. Below 2,800 is low. But I got caught up taking stuff apart, which is fine. I mean, my payout that just hit was like $690. That's the lowest payout I've had in a long time. I mean, I'm part to blame to that, but all right, get these DVDs. Got some more. 200. Getting about 200 total a week. Yeah, Canada. I don't think it was you. It was somebody else I was responding to. Either on one of my videos, but no, it was one that was like a long time ago. A video a long time ago was like, why? That's back when I sat back in the chair. I don't think I had that tie-dye backdrop. But it was an older one. It's like why and what I look for when I pick certain media or something. So it was a much older video. And then they commented something about Canada. Like, well, I just can't ship stuff out at the rate that they do in the U.S. for media mail wise. It was like it's like $12 for basically the first anything that needs to go out. First weight of anything is like $12 or whatever it is. And so I replied with like, I mean, you could just put some stuff in a lot and keep it under that first weight before the next spike, the rate increase. And if you got to put 4 CDs in a small lot and do it that way, but still that could eat up that $16 pretty quick. So that is one factor that I just never really thought of. I thought most places had really inexpensive, low weight item shipping. There's some things, I guess, that are good about the U.S. Although gas is not, petrol is not really cheap right now. I mean, it hit $5 a gallon up here. So, I mean, I'm sure gallons. There's just under 4 liters in a gallon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You guys buy gas by the gallon, by the liter. All right, it's priced $2 Canadian per the liter or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a little more expensive up there. So I do watch that scrapping channel Thub Print, and he lives up there. I think he's in Toronto, or Montreal, or somewhere within one of those vicinities there. And he goes over the prices of stuff, not like exclusively, but if you listen, you could key in on different things. $1.83. That's $7 a gallon. Ow. That's like living in. I mean, in New York. I mean, I'm not sure. You can go on GasBuddy.com and type in 11122, or just type in New York City, and you get, or Long Island or something. You can see how much gasoline is there, and then obviously you'd have to take that number and then divide that by 4, so you get rough, and then do the little bit convert. But it's not cheap. It's probably $8-9 a gallon. Um, we'll just say 250 maybe a liter. Yeah, not cheap. Not in Canada. Everyone says, "Hey man, I'll move to Canada. It's right there." You better have twice the fucking money of what you think you're going to spend. You better have twice as much. So that's why, like, Ohio, in the United States, Ohio falls within like one of the top. It falls in the top ranges for better cost of living areas. Uh, and then you get into the bigger cities, which is going to be Cleveland, which is 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes west of here. If I want to get to the city, like right where the city limits is, it's probably 15-minute drive, no traffic lights. Um, and then Columbus is 2 hours away. Then Cincinnati is all the way down on the bottom southwest corner. And then you have other like metro areas. So south of here is going to be the Akron-Canton metro area, which Akron's about an hour south. We lived in Akron before we moved up here. We lived in an area called Merriman Valley. As a matter of fact, one of the nation's largest mansions is there. It's called Stan Hewitt Hall. Like 86 bedrooms, big in-ground pool. The gardens are more nationally known. Oh, less hearing required. So it's quiet. Heating. Oh, heating. Okay. Um, yeah, this is the temperate area, a temperate area of the United States. So the air conditioner has been running past a couple days. Yesterday was it probably got to 90 Fahrenheit, 25 C maybe. No, that's probably way too hot. 28, 29. So it's warm. So it's set to 72, which is what, like 20, 20 C. Room temperature is where it's at. And that is, I want to say that's not typical for this time of around here, but it's not really typical to have a couple 90-degree blasts come in. And then from here for until like the next week and a half, it's going to be high 70s and 80s, regular late spring weather. But you'll get those fluke ones every once in a while. And regardless of having the brand new HVAC, the upstairs still fucking stays hot. So I had to go outside, go to the storage, get the portable air conditioner, attach that up in the bedroom, and then we've got all the fans kind of. But rent, you mentioned something about prices. So rent here hasn't changed in 4 years that we've been month to month. So I was just saying that to my wife last night. I was like, you know what? Even after a little bit more of organizing around here, there's still some more that needs done. Moving would be great, but that's going to increase the monthly costs by at least 1/3. for rent, and they added utilities and a few other things. And there's a couple other things that need to be finished paying off, like the bottom part of my mouth needs to be paid off first. And I broke this temporary, snapped it right here. So I got to go in on Monday, and I got to order another temporary. And then it's another $15,000 that I owe until that's completely paid off. So my wife actually today, when we go driving, I'm going to take her to a place to where she can go in for a final interview for a security job at a hospital, because she did security before. I mean, she's small. She's like 5'3", 130 pounds or something. But it's more money, it's more hours, and it has benefits. So she's going to do that for like 4 days a week, and then do what she does now. Because what she does now, one trip is like 2 miles up the road, the other one's like 4 miles up the road. A kilometer down and maybe 2 kilometers the other way. But get this done and then move, because doing the scrapping and other things. And then a lot of times I can get like motivationally declined because of just where the stuff is that I have, that I've brought in either sale wise or needs test or not tested, needs resurfaced wise, or stuff that I've gotten from the trash and stuff and brought that in. Then it just kind of sits, and then eventually I'm like, oh, I got to go take all this stuff out. And I just took out 2 like 70-pound bins full of good circuit boards that are $3 a pound, $3 Canadian, basically. Regardless, it's about that. So about 150 pounds of that, 70 kilo. But I got to get these CD or these DVDs put in. I at least got to get started with this, because if I don't at least have this page up, then I just won't keep getting back to it. Okay. Oh, thanks, Brandon. I mean, anything a little bit help. I just went live a couple last week, and there was for doing something like this, and nobody popped in. So yeah, keep it running, and I'll just keep on talking. So yeah, I can get. There is an access point in our bedroom in the closet. So we have a 20-inch box fan, half a meter box fan that's in the opening, and that just pulls that. I mean, I can stand on the landing and I can feel, and it's just a 20-inch box fan, a half meter box fan, and I can stand on the landing up, and you can feel that air from down here getting pulled through, and it goes straight up. But there are no fascia vents on the building anywhere, so no heat vents going out like at the widow's peak, none. And there's no insulation in the attic. If there was, you're probably going to have like a 20% savings, but it's just all that heat can get very uncomfortable. But I mean, we do have a new HVAC, which does help. But the HVAC guy has to come back one of these days, make sure that it is properly charged with the amount of coolant refrigerant that's in it. So Relic Hunter is this one here. I'm just going to pick one of these that I know it'll fit in 33. I got one I could pick I know it'll fit in. Not B, D. I mean, it's tolerable. The electric for the summer, I think one time throughout all the year it's here. One time was like just over $200, but to cool, and that's with an AC that had no coolant in it, refrigerant at all. When they took this old one out, they're like, yeah, the evac, the gas. Like, yeah, nothing in it. All you're doing is blowing around that hot air. It's like, oh, so I was being charged electric-wise for something that they knew that, because I put in requests like 4 times, and I'm like, oh, we changed the filter. It's like, you didn't fucking go out and check the or any of that stuff that you're supposed to do. No, just do the filter. No, it didn't. So I probably could take them to court for negligence. But that would be that would be a rough argument. But they still have to fix things to where it is as something was just as good. So if somebody comes in or something happens and a window breaks, they can go get a replacement window from a different unit and put a window in, and it's just as it was before, just something different. If I put in a request that the air conditioner is not working and it's not blowing out cold air, changing the filter isn't going to fucking fix it. And they did that like 3 times until finally the furnace went out. Like, oh yeah, we're going to change your AC too. I could. Different dreams. But that's just going to... That would just... so this different dreams... $20, $23. But that would be a lot more energy in time, and depending if an attorney would take it on contingency. Just saved a little baby mouse. I mean, it's going to get eaten by something sometime anyhow, but... So, yeah, I'm not worried about all that. It's uncomfortable sometimes. Person of interest. This is $25. I don't do a lot of these. A lot of time, the final seasons. I usually scan the final and the first. And if any of them, and if they've got like 5 of one, let's say 5 of one season, and doesn't really matter. But if I could see at least the first and the last, I'll scan the first and the last. If either of those come up like $10, $12, I'll scan them all, because it could be one of them. It could be a random. It's like My Life as an American Teenager or something like that. Season 6 or season 7 is like $100. D3. Did not want to step on a rock while I was out there. Lots of order houses are like that. That don't have that have poor insulation and all that other stuff. Yeah, unfortunately in Ohio, there are some states that do require that an attic needs insulation. Ohio is not one of them. I was like, why don't they take... So United States has something that's known as a full faith. So there's a something, I don't know if it's necessarily in the Constitution, but it's called the full faith clause. So the full faith clause basically means that if here in this district, which was going to be different than the district courts of California, district courts here, it's going to be different numbers, different districts. But for these regions, and most of the time, there's a case law is going to apply to that district, and it can also apply to other districts, but less stringently. So you can have Ohio, and this is not going to be geographically correct. So you're going to have Ohio and Kentucky and Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina. Let's just say if you have all that, everything off this way is a different district. So what one court decides for this district here, in what's known as full faith, a court in a different district can apply the same rulings and the same rules, the same procedures that happened in this case over here. So if something happens in the Supreme Court, it applies across the entire United States and its territories. In district-wise, so I don't understand on how it could be on one state, on how that just, you can't pull that. That would just make sense. To be like, well, in this district, it requires landlords to have insulation XYZ. And then the district that ruling was not in should apply to a different district, but it doesn't. So that's called the full faith clause. Full faith is basically that the court is going to disclose all that information so other people can use it. Other courts can use it. Kino Lorber. Did I never think that Kino Lorber? I mean, I see kids' movies that are distributed through Lionsgate. And if you know Lionsgate, I don't associate Lionsgate with kids stuff. But Kino Lorber, The Wiggles. Oh, what is The Wiggle? Nope. D6. But the biggest thing is, like I said, they haven't changed. So we are here for a year, and then it changed companies. And then that one was just kind of like a placeholder company. Then the company that it is now is the same owner for 4 years. And at that point, we started off as month to month. So they raised the rent by $200, and then we everybody started getting charged for water and trash, which can be anywhere from $45 to $75 a month, depending on how much water people use and how much flushing there is in showers and all that. But for 4 years, the rent has not gone up. Tell me a place where you go when after the first year, the rent doesn't go up. And then the second year, and then the third year. And now I'm going in we'll be here at the start of, we moved here in 21. Moved in 20. Yes, 20. So it'll be the start of 6 years in August. Yeah, end of August. And rent hasn't gone up in 5 years. All right. This is a strange one. This Monty Roberts Shy Boy. And this is one that was on the very bottom left hand, and I just think that's how the store just kind of put the stuff on the shelves. And believe me, it wouldn't be something that I would just randomly pick. I'm like, well, I didn't see it, so I grabbed it, scanned it. It's like $50, 50. My little cat, I saw a rocket coming across the parking lot here. And I just saw this I thought maybe it was like a little toad. And by the time I got out there, she already had it. And she's walking, and she's all doing her little cat prance. And my other cat, Monkey, she was over there. So I can hear the little thing squealing. So she dropped it, and I picked it up by the tail, and I tossed it a little out in the shrubbery, but it was like too light that... and then both cats went running right after it, so I grabbed both cats like this. And then the little mouse ran off, and I had to bring him back in. As soon as I brought him in, they took off back outside. Why don't you go outside, Drac? Yeah, probably. You're more. Well, I don't know how Canada works. Is that media figure? Yeah. But I say, I don't know how mortgage works in Canada. But you're not in Canada. You're across the pond, but westward pond up here. Yeah, that was the one thing that I just never. A lot of people will ask, like, "Hey, why don't you buy?" And we thought, and we actually went up to the bank and stuff, and gave them enough information to see, like, yeah, I mean, you guys would qualify. I would. Like then now, thinking all the added cost of everything else. That one's like $30. That one, well, it's got 4 views. It's 33. Cane Masters, like self-defense with cane. But I mean, I grew up seeing. So my mom was a cop, a police officer, in a small village township. It's no longer that because there was a Hudson, or there was Hudson, the city of Hudson, Hudson Village, and Hudson Township. So Hudson, all 3 of them merged to be the city of Hudson Village, Township, Burgville, Town, whatever it is. Most people just colloquially just call it Hudson. But she was a cop out there. She started off as a dispatcher and then became a cop. Not B, D. But even at that, she worked another job, and the constant repairs. I mean, 4 kids. I mean, she got child support, but that really wasn't a whole lot. But it was a middle class neighborhood. But the constant repairs that she was putting in, like every year, is another 15, 20,000 or something. And then next year is 15, 20,000, and then next year is this. And about the only thing she never got done was the driveway. Roof was done. She replaced most of the windows. Painting, landscape, a pole barn, a deck, a bigger deck, like a 15-foot off the back and maybe 25-foot wide deck off the back of the house. Like, no. Renting has its perils, for sure. Its downsides. But it's also one of those, you own a house, and for any sort of reason, you got to get up and go. Either a logical, valid reason or just off the whim. Better start talking to people. Because you're going to owe your payments for everything that your house is while you don't live there. Renting, I'd be like, hey, we got to take off in a couple weeks. I'm just going to go ahead and just pay the whole month. There you go. We're leaving. My brother has his house. He just got, and he's an electrician. Gordon, speaking of Gordon, it's my brother's middle name. He's an electrician, has his own company. So vicinity-wise from here, he's about an hour south of here, not too far from the Goodyear blimp hangar. And then his business isn't too far from there. Well, he also has a business where he's at right there, but he was renting that and like the 3 units of the business, right? So his house is right, if we're looking at the backyard, his house is here. He takes some wooden steps to go up a little hill, and then he's at a 3-bay garage where part of his business is at. So his house is here, directed to the left goes up these wooden stairs that he built. There's his storage, or there's his units. One has a lift, the other one keeps his boat in, whatever. And then the other part is all the way down. It's down south from him for like 20 minutes. But he bought his house, and he put new counters, not including like the appliances and stuff, but he put like 20 grand of counters and cabinets and stuff in. While he was doing stuff, because as soon as he moved in many years ago, he just put his bed in one spot and kept it there. So when he moved his bed and he went to move, he noticed that the floorboard was kind of soft. And he always said it always had like a faint smell right there. So he moved over and he put his foot on it, and the floor and the subfloor snapped. Went underneath, and there was a septic pipe that had been leaking for Lord knows how long. So he had to put $40,000 into replacing something he's never going to fucking see again. Nope, not me. Yeah, that's always good. Strangely, I just watched Armed Response. Just watched a Mr. Bolin video. That part of it was they were renting out the basement, but it turned into a murder case. But all right, so we have this daughter of mine, BMW, Vatican City. Yeah, I mean, each has its. I mean, you can get a house for, per se, just for this scenario, this example, you can get a house for relatively cheap. We'll just say 100 grand, whatever currency, U.S. or I mean, it's not going to matter much when you're at this dollar amount. And then you could dump another 50 to 100 grand in it, and you could sell it for 300 for sure. I mean, the housing market, for the most part, can stay and can be very stable. I mean, this live stream is not about the debate of rent or purchase or own. But it's just something that I don't know how many jobs I've had where I've got, a promotion, or 24, where I got a promotion for something I had to move. I mean, we lived in Kent, and I got a job out in Pittsburgh, or just outside of Pittsburgh. And I was renting. If I owned, I would have likely have turned that down. I mean, it wasn't like it was still a 6-figure job. And now thinking about it, I was like, man, I'm glad I don't do that work anymore. Not like I can't. I was really good at what I did. So why were these not in the way they need to be? Well, yeah, moving would be great. Get a ranch or a small split level. I'm so excited. I'm 6'4". I mean, I'm even right here with my leg crossed over my other leg, standing on one leg because my left knee is hurt. I don't want to deal with stairs anymore. Pisto, yes. Pisto. 24. Okay. It used to be a what? Oh yeah, yeah. Estates and people down on the luck. I don't know down on the luck, but your last comment kind of, I'm gonna guess it's relation to the house, and you got something from a house or your previous job, and you still use the shut. Oh, okay, I got it from me talking about what I did. Okay. All right, Royal Hearts 24, Nunchuka, and Quakong Self Healing D24. 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 Well, I mean, it's somewhat. I'm going to guess. No, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to say that a lot of that inhibitor for buying is the money wise. I mean, if I started doing something and all of a sudden I'm getting an extra 10 grand a month, yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, those people that can heavily afford a house and the constant repairs without really blinking an eye, that's a completely different story. Although, sales can be good for reselling wise for most people who I'm going to say this kind of subjectively, very, very, very subjectively. Most people who look at and entertain reselling, let's just go primarily eBay because that's what I know. You can look at a gross sales and then you can kind of figure like some ROIs and other costs. I would say that, I mean, hitting 100K is great. My life is no fucking different. No different from it. I mean, it feels good to know that, and it feels good to understand the process of what I can do, what needs to be done in order to achieve that and scale a little more. I would say probably 300,000 in gross sales. That seller is living quite a bit better. 100K, that's just like seeing every other person driving a Honda. I was like, they're making enough, they're doing enough. Now for full time, this is what I do, and I scrap, and scrap is nowhere near the amount of money. There's enough in it to where I don't have to do anything else. I could do all this on my own time. And I know if I'm at 25 to 30 hours a week between everything I do for eBay, if I scale up by 50%, I know what that will do. And I have to plan plenty of a bit of time ahead. I have to anticipate and structure myself in order to make room for the different things coming and going. But I would say hit 300K is a gross sales, and even after everything, if you're paying tax, if half of everything is what you're not paying taxes on, so you're netting pre-tax 150K, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, my pre-tax amount was 58,000, 54. I got to look at the dockets again, the pages again, but 58 or 54,000, whatever it was. Pre-tax, so everything after write-off, after inventory, all the little write-offs, the mileage, the rent, all that other stuff was either 54 or 58,000, so about half of gross. Take 30%, So another 18,000. So might as well round that up to 20,000. That's 30,000 net. Most people going around driving a freaking Honda net 25 to 30,000 a year. Not all of them. But then again, driving a car that you make full payments on and have full coverage insurance on, and you pay the interest on that payments, you're not getting that money back. So I buy my cars outright, cash. But the subjective thing is where I was going with that. To be full time, and I wrote somewhere in another comment, I was like, to be full time, you ideally, if it's full time and it's going to be your only source of money, scrapping is so negligible that you can include that if you want, but it's so negligible in the scheme of things. I would say make sure that you're at 6 figures in gross. I mean, but if you're buying something for $5 and you're selling them for $6 plus shipping, that's a lot of burnt time. But if you have plenty for that 6-figure range and all of your other costs are low, you could do the volume for sure. But in order to live, I mean, if you don't have like $15,000 medical expenses, $45,000 total, hopefully I don't need to do much with this car, but it's going to be probably between the little bit of work it needs, maybe just shy of a couple $100. Oh, one of the cats upstairs. So let me get these CDs. Change this one. Oh. And that is living here where the expenses aren't that bad. They're higher, but they're not that bad. So I was munching on last night when I just jumped, and I don't go into Finding Motors channel all the time, but depending on what I'm doing, if I'm just kind of chillaxing for the day or for that time. Because yesterday I did another live of stuff I found in the dumpster here. Another big chunk of stuff. So I took that apart and did some more other little tinkering and so on. But sitting down, I was munching on wheat thins and peanut butter. And I ate like half a jar of peanut butter. Like the jar was like that big. It's tickling my stomach. Make me burp. And since I haven't put CDs away in a while, and I do reel it or sell similars all the time, here we go. Seth MacFarlane, right there. But that would be kind of the point. I mean, now that the weather is getting is nicer, and I said this, not too long ago. Now that it's getting nicer, there's a lot of times that it could still be nice to go out when it gets to well over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, if it was 90 Celsius, none of us would be talking. I have no fucking idea even what that conversion is. 981 to 190, maybe 190 degrees. 90 C might be 190 Fahrenheit. Yeah, we want to be talking. Those days, yeah, I want to try to stay in but when it's 80 something and Yeah, I can go drive around and it's dark at 9 o'clock now. And I kind of made my time and my schedule more based on going out and just doing things full day. Like for just the eBay wise, man, I would just get up, I would go to some stores, I'd come back, be back. I mean, after a video and after packaging and after video and stuff, I'd go out to a few stores, I'd be back at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And then I would do some sell similars and I'd be done. Like I'm like every day, every other day, or at least once a week, I'm just kind of rearranging my daily on how I want to structure what. Because now it's to the point where it's like, yeah, I could do eBay within 4 or 5 hours a day, and I'm done at 1 or 2. I can't just sit there and watch YouTube all day. Even if I had video games, I still can't. My attention span for video games just isn't like that anymore. All right. Collinsworth band. So that one was on top. I believe, yeah, right here. C20. So as long as I can keep myself occupied. Well, at least I can stay occupied. Brooks and Dunn, Hillbilly Deluxe. Lady Gaga. Like Gaga's $30. But there's just so much, as for media wise, for the time that I go out and go to the stores, 5, 6, 7, 8 stores, and come back, and I've got 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 worth of stuff for $100 I spent, and the additional time to get pictures, list, and put away. That ratio for time and all that's worth it to me. I mean, there's even like some scrapping stuff that I could cut ICs off of circuit boards, but I just stopped at like a certain size. And then the other day, I'm like, for the amount of what you get, for the time vested in all of it, and all, it's go with the bigger ICs. And if you're going to cut a bigger one off, then chop it. But all like the real small ICs, or like the little tantalum capacitors, those you could get. Those are $9 a pound, while the boards are $3 or 3 and some change a pound. It's like the transformers on some stuff. It's like, yeah, I could get a chisel, crack it open, take the 10 minutes to get that open to get 2 ounces of copper. So I need 8 more of those. So I've got an hour invested, more than an hour invested in $4. Now, granted, that adds up, but that is more processing work. When I can just toss it in a bin and get 30 cents a pound for it. Now, it's not much, but there are those people that do extremely go down. And I did chop up transformers before. I was like, I'm not going to do that again. I have some bigger transformers that are like 2 pounds and more, 2, 3, 4, 8. There's even one that was like 12 pounds. That 12-pound one, I'm going to get 4 or 5 pounds of copper from. $4 a pound. Yeah, I'll chop that one up for $20. It may take an hour, but it's $20 of copper. To each their own. Barbara Streisand. Speaking of Christopherson, so this is a very, very common CD, but it's sealed. It's only like $12. And there's a lot of tools I don't like. I don't have the tools to break open those big transformers and motors and stuff to like cut the copper apart. So that's all stuff you just kind of collect, and then when you get the right tools, you've got a whole day of cutting stuff up, and that's $200, $300 of copper you get from it. And that one can fit one. And it's just yeah, I mean, I guess you could continue to just like process stuff down. Makes sense. But then it turns into that mental battle. It's like, do you really want to? Is it really going to be worth it? Worth the time? I'm not the one to say or really talk on that specific topic because I started scrapping this year, and there are some people that would be like, oh yeah, that's really, and to me, what other things that I just kind of toss in on and I gave up on, even like little motors and stuff. So like these little transformers right here, weighs probably 2 ounces. Right? I'm going to get a quarter of an ounce. If I spend 10 minutes slicing that open, a quarter of an ounce. Same thing with this little motor. These are going to be 20 cents a pound. Same thing with this little motor. Now I could crack that, separate that, and there's little copper spools in there for what, a penny? Other little like transformers and stuff. Like you could see that in there, but after the stuff that's exposed and that's easy to get to, that's already on like a ferrite core or that doesn't have tape all around it. And then I'll fill up that pail with 20 pounds and get like $3. But 20 cents a pound is better than 9 cents a pound. And it's already right there that I have to disassemble anyhow. Man, I can't do coffee right now. It's not even 11 o'clock. I'm like, man, that coffee. The irony. Never really used to drink soda. And because of my teeth. Spend $45,000 to get new teeth. No, I drink more soda when it's more expensive. Could be worse. Could drink beer. I quit drinking 6 years ago. And I still managed to keep that belly. And standing up, oh, come on, eBay. Standing up this long. What the fuck, man? I tell you what, eBay for the past like week, for any page that needs loaded up or whatever, it's just been wah, wah, the Terapeak search, wah, 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 the app on the phone, on the tablet, wah, wah, wah. I don't know why it's always the common sense things. Go into your system. Find out what is eating up most of the memory usage for any type of page of anything. Remove the stuff that's unnecessary. Limit the stuff that's more necessary, but not as much. Keep the stuff that absolutely has to be there, and drop the fucking ads. Those ads slow down so much. Ad blocker, it doesn't matter what you have on there. You're going to have it set to show 25 results a page or 60 results a page or whichever. You just type one thing in, and it takes 20 seconds for it to completely load the entire page. And it's, I mean, I got a 8th gen i7 or something. Well, not on this laptop, but even on the PC because Windows Update fucked my PC up. Oh, this is Windows Update. We're going to force a BIOS update. If it doesn't comply to the BIOS update, your computer is fucked. Yeah, that's what Windows did. So I still have to do it. I just got to go to the website, put it on the laptop, put the BIOS on a flash drive, and then put that on the computer, and then put everything back in the computer. And Andrew Peterson. And John Perrin, C25. So that needs done sometime. C25. And I see this Crystal Gale right here. I think it's a different Crystal Gale I have in here. That's like $60 or $70. Both those are only like $30. I can get one of that one. I could fit one more right there. Knowing I'm limited on room, I might be able to. So I can get 2 in there. 3 actually. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Spread that tension. Grab. All right, so we have coming up. This Crystal Gale is 15. Crystal Gale, also Loretta Lynn's sister. Robert Lamb. Colton Dixon. Glad. Bambi. That was like $20. I'm going to stop right there because those are the ones I can see. C24. I don't know what the nice is to, or nice is for, or about. Crystal Gale. Bambi. Or the kind of ska type-esque music. I listened to, and I had it in a couple of videos one time. Oh. Well, I didn't even see that. C24. Since you might be subscribed to his channel. I've mentioned him and put his links in my channel plenty of times. And you've been around long enough to where I can figure you probably watch him or heard me say it, or at least seen the links. Dramarama. I don't think I put that one in the. I actually wanted to put this in because it's an 80s. We'll keep that one out. Actually, I put that in right now. I had a few decent sales over the weekend, selling one for 80, another for 60, one for 40. Oh, yeah, well, now I see that. Oh. Well, that's on 3, huh? So this is Flyleaf. Well, I actually like Flyleaf. Open, close. There you go, Dramarama. Yeah, I just saw that on the TV. The nice sales. Yeah, all my good ones have been minus the sunglasses. I mean, I have to go back. I'm not posting like up all the bigger sales anymore. Well, every sale that I have, I'm not posting, I should say, in videos wise. Yeah, I don't think it's been much of anything like extraordinary of late. Pearl Bailey, C24. Nope. C24. Yeah, Brandon came to, I don't know when I mean, he was an early subscriber. Comes another train. I remember one time, like, he posted a video. He's subscribed to the channel. He make a comment every once in a while. He posted a video, and I commented. I was like, to be honest, you've been subscribed to my channel for a little bit, however I worded it. Like, I never watched any of your videos. He just posted like an 8-minute one. Brandon did a couple days ago. I believe I watched that one. C26. Because a lot of you did one. No, you posted one about listing. I think it was like listing and BS, like high price something. I don't know. I may have just put it on, just put it in the background, kind of like what you're doing now. Give you that watch time. More like a lurker. If I'm not mistaken, Brandon, I think you either said something or brought something about the big green not too long ago. It may not have been you either. It may have been somebody else. Skippy Wing. And red plastic bag, red plastic bag. C27. I can feel that. There's a cat door right here at the sliding door. So a little bit of that heat comes in. Steve Hillage. That's interesting right here. So I actually sent this, not this, but I sent the link to Steve Hillage to the Finding Motor guy, Sean. It's like, oh no, that's not really my gig. I was like, no, I thought that's the kind of music you like. Like, no, I appreciate you thinking about me like that, but Steve Hillage has some interesting sound. That's some 80s stuff too. 1980, 1983. Steve Hillage. This specific one is pretty interesting. So Gettysburg, I believe this one is a duplicate. No, not this particular one. There's a different one that's worth a lot more. C29. Yeah. So I mean, my number is going to be a little different, but it's just shy of 20K for 90 days. Now, I don't think that there is a way besides me taking a picture showing it, but my metrics, if I go this year, it shows that I'm like a 0.5% lower than where I was this time last year. It shouldn't be. But I mean, either way. But this Crystal Gale is $50 because it has the two of them on there. And it was, I have, I might be able to access it. There shouldn't be any photos on here to back up. I mean, I can look it up easier on that. But I had a screenshot, I think is when I had 1,000 sales, and it was the end of January. It's 1,000 sales in 90 days. It was like 33,000. The end of January. Yeah, hip hop. There's a ton of just oddball hip hop. I sold one not too long ago, like some Iceland something. I don't remember what they are. C29. But I would say decline in sales is on me because I'm not at that 3K listing mark where I know I've always been able to be comfortable at. But I also know that if I want to change that, jump in the car, go drive 50 miles west and hit 6 stores this way. And drive 50 miles south, 30 kilometers south, and hit a handful of stores that way and come back, and then go that way and come back and go do that for 4 days. And I got $5,000 of stuff, $6,000 of stuff, whichever, and then list those and then do that, and then repeat that for a couple weeks, and then I'm at that 3,000 again. I know how to fix it. Patsy Montana or yard sales. I mean, I never really did a lot of yard sales, period. Oh, my lower back. One of the other perils about being tall is that most furniture is not made for people over 6 feet. So all the chairs, and when you sit, you have to sit a little different, and you have to bend yourself over so you could reach be at the table properly and comfortably. So if you sit at a chair for a long period of time, your lower back I'm alive, here to tell the story. Wife came home yesterday. I could see the frustration on her face. Usually I make some sort of, oh no, I'm being burgled. Or, damn, look at that ass. I'll say something just kind of, when anybody comes back from work, you just don't want to encourage frustration. So I always try to make some sort of little joke or some sort of expression or something. Like she could come pulling up and be like, "Booga," things like that, just to make her laugh. She comes in and she's just frustrated. She just says that, one of those people that have to stop before they turn while it's a continuous turn. To turn on a road, like they almost completely stop at the intersection, then they slowly turn, especially with no turn signal. So she said that she slammed her car. She could have sworn that she got close enough to almost hit them. So she just wanted to make sure. She comes in, she's saying it all kind of, well, not frantically, but kind of in haste. And it's saying, I was like, well, you're here to tell the story. And if you think about it, I said it before, and I watch a lot of space shows. Outer space is, it's big. Okay? It's pretty big. And as far as we know, we are the only things out there that are recording, making record of what's going on out there. What other thing in outer space do you know of that knows what a black hole is doing? What other things in outer space do you know of are telling, can inform you of what a quasar is, or what a pulsar is, or what the great attractor is, or what the zone of avoidance is? There's no other thing out there in outer space that we know of is recording the things that are happening in outer space. So fucking be glad you're breathing. Sometimes it sucks, but be glad you're alive. Be glad you can experience. And I'm not religious. I'm not going to go into any God thing, but be glad you're around to be able to because in the scheme of everything else that's out there, nothing else is alive. We are. And we get to listen to Dramarama. This one, 5 Seconds of Summer, that is $45 with the slipcover. And I thought I had another one. I still have it on my stack of stuff of ones that I listen to. He's going here. 28. I saw another comment come in. Yeah, it'd be great to have a bigger area where I could do this. I could have an actual monitor for comments, and then OBS to where this wouldn't be like that. But I wake up each day in order to live my story of life, mine. What I do. Where I was going with the whole reseller thing. Like an hour ago. Not even an hour ago. Was me saying life, right? Oh, this right here. I believe this is the one. It's like $120, $130. This big time rush. That's the thing about oddball, just flipping. See, that's why I got into physical media. I'm not going to say my cliche, but it's just you just don't know what's $100. The people can. I'm not putting down any category by any means, but people can go out, make it buy a bunch of clothes. The same ratio is you're not going to come across a lot of $100 CDs. I mean, you could. But I come across, in the physical media realm, I come across $100 items all the time. Clothing, people be like, no, dude, there's no freaking $100. Oh, yeah, there are. There's $200, there's $1,000 CDs, there's $2,000 CDs. The most expensive CD sold was one by Wu-Tang Clan. It was a 1 of a 1. I think it was gold and silver or something like that. Sold for $4 million or something. That was on that channel, either Forever Analog or Cheap Audio Guy. Strange facts about CDs. Like at one point, the AOL CDs made up like 20% of all the compact discs that were being produced in, I don't know if it was the United States or the world. They made up 20%. The AOL free trial CDs. But yeah, there's some very, very high end that you'll just come across. But like, oh, what? That's fucking $300? Yeah, I mean. So where I was going with this in reseller and physical media, the thing with, like, let's just say if you started getting into clothes, to me, it has a lot more chance for headache in return. I don't know how many Facebook posts that I see from different sellers that are like, oh, yeah, well, I see you put the measurements on and I put them on and they don't fit the way they're supposed to. You listed the measurements wrong. You know, some sort of bullshit. It's like, why is it that I see the same sellers posting different stories about clothing over and over and over and over again? How many fucking times you got to put your hands in the fire to realize that you're getting burnt with clothing? Just me. That's just me. Some electronics, yeah, I did electronics for a little while. Fuck, I've got this. You might be able to see it. Cardboard box right there. So that has the iPods in it, which I have a charger in at least, well, 2 of them work. Has like these wireless charger things made by GE, some sort of medical wireless charger for some sort of device. That device, the handheld device itself, is like $1,000. I don't have the devices. I have the wireless chargers, and they sell from like some distributor for like $400. That specific one is like $400. eBay on Terapeak has had like 2 sales, and one was like 160. I got like 15 of them. There's like a power supply like this big that even in sold as parts not working, they're $150 from the trash, right? So there's things like that, but I'm not actively going out and buying $20. Where was I going? Before I meander off too far. What's my cliche? Yes, exactly. Sense. Nowhere on Earth. Nowhere in the universe. My cliche. Matter of fact, I think you're the person who wrote many, many, many months ago. You wrote, you actually said your mom or something like that. But physical media, it's everywhere. It's cheap. It's easy to work with, and it sells fast. Reminds me of your mom. I think that was you who wrote in there. I'm like, you really said a your mom joke? There's only a couple more in this box. This old twang right here, $20. Some old twang. I don't discriminate on it. I don't care what it looks like. If it's interesting for me to look at, and if it's got a barcode, makes it easier. If not, I'll hand type it. I don't discriminate on the genre. So we had an apartment fire almost 20 years ago. And I was sell on eBay then, but it was mainly like flatware. Like my old store name was called Flatware Fanatic. I still have the Flatware ID booked on here. So that's Twin Star. That's probably Chandelier. This is Venetia. That's American Shell, and that might be Michelangelo. All right, that's just on how much I've. So this is a pattern ID book. It has most patterns made up to like 1998. Most patterns, and so I would get flatware, and some flatware can be $1 a piece, and some can be $100 a piece for a freaking spoon for stainless, or just the metal, not silver plate or anything like that, just stainless. It's a great ROI, and most places are going to sell flatware for 10, 15, 25 cents. But the packaging, if a fork got pushed through some sort of packaging, and I don't know how many times I dealt with refunding people because the package got open and something was missing. And then first class, I just don't deal with it anymore. It's clankety, clank, clank. It makes a lot of clank, clank. But I was selling a lot of flatware because there was a secondhand shop called Abby Ann's, and there was like 4 or 5 of them in that Akron area. But there was a secondhand shop right down the street. And he used to have a guy come from New York, and Paul would buy these flats with like 1,000 forks or spoons or which have you on there from the guy for stupid cheap because they were Oneida defects. So I was getting these things for like 12 cents each. He's like, well, I mean, if you buy 1,000 at so I'd just buy a whole bunch and take them home, get pictures, and just have multiple quantity listings, what have you. This is back before Buy It Now was mainstream. It was almost still then in the early aughts, mid-aughts was 90% was probably still auction on eBay. Because at that point, eBay was only around for 10 years. So that apartment, we had an apartment fire. I was selling a lot of flatware. And I was going to a website called liquidation.com and getting stuff. So I had an apartment fire. And later on, you realize that there's 2 things that don't discriminate. DNA doesn't discriminate, and fire doesn't discriminate. Fire doesn't care if you've got $1 million. It doesn't care if you're black, purple, white, polka dot. It doesn't care if you're already dead. It doesn't care if you're upside down. It doesn't fucking care. DNA ain't gonna lie, and fire isn't gonna discriminate. I don't know where I went off on that tangent about that, but there's a story for you guys. You tell your grandkids now. Derek had an apartment fire back in the early 2000s. Yep. That was an interesting time. No. Well, I'm done here. Oh, man, I was hoping I got all of them in there. I get it all in there. Your mom. Best of Q Masaka Waka. Oh, then the last one is Take On Me. Take me on. C35. C35. A little more mainstream 80s. So I said my cliche. Actually, the first time I said that in a video when I was doing videos. That I just kind of like, if you think about it, physical media, it's everywhere. It's cheap. It's easy to work with. It's all, and then that's where just like, my formative years were in the 80s, and that's when your mom was around. But that's when your mom jokes were even better. Because your mom was better. All right, so I did have enough room. Aha. Oof. Now, it's time to transplant to the other room. Let's get this over there, this over there. That's 35%. Let's go over here where the other stuff is. Toward the ceiling again. So this is that part of the ceiling I have right here. That's the other part, right? No, that's the other part. You guys like that? Now you know. Now you know what that ceiling looks like. One of these tripod legs is not flush like the others. And now I have these books. Those books in a big box. And well, I just moved the thing out of the hallway, dude. My camera. Is it super duper melty hot out there? You want more light? You want more light?
So, like they're loose in there.
Oh. So Drac was walking around with that hair tie that's broke.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking around, yeah.
Yeah, she was yesterday.
And then, so she was upstairs for a little while doing it, and she comes downstairs with it. She comes in there, she's meowing and meowing. I think she was like trying to circle the whole apartment to try to find you. And she looked at me, she's like, meow, 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 and just dropped it.
Wait, where'd she go?
And then just jumped in the hammock part of the cat tree. And she was there the whole time until now.
Because then she knew she'd see me when I got home, huh? But Drac, I gotta get ready and I gotta go somewhere else. I know you miss me. I know. I missed you too. I missed you ton.
All right, now I get to this. So this is an 80s band called Dramarama. Do you know Dramarama? No, neither do I. I put the CDs away. I was like, oh, I wanted to save that so I could listen to it. Oh, all right, now I gotta put these away. Clear all. Send offers. Was there still air in all the tires?
Yeah. Well, this morning when I left, I didn't don't check it on my way in. I kind of put my hands full.
All right, go to filters, categories, books. And go antiques. I don't think I have any of these are textbooks. Very rarely will I get a textbook. And if most of the, well, let me say it like this. If a bunch of listings come up for it as a textbook, I'm going to look at the book to make sure it is a textbook. Most of the times I don't get textbooks. There are a couple I have that are textbooks, but they're like older textbooks that are more going to be like a reference. There's a physics one I have somewhere. Oh, so all these ones, the rest of these ones are going to be on the table I haven't got yet. So I'm going to get that stacked. In the meantime, we can you guys can look at this really cool Underworld book right here. That's the expensive one. The specific copy. Graphic. The Last Boy Scout. This one's interesting. Type in the Last Boy Scout book. There's really like 2 listings. You figure for a movie that's been around for 30 years, there'll be more than just a couple listings. It's not an expensive book, but it's just there's not a lot of them out there. Even at Terror Peak, there's like 3 sales. Okay. That's what I mean by books wise. You know, as for CDs, they don't add up that fast. B1. Better be B1. It is. B1. So these ones I think are the Albert Krehor. Yeah, so Albert Krehor was a physicist and primarily electromagnetism up in this area back in the 40s or whenever. And my understanding is he's more known for something that's called the Krehor sundial. What it is, how it works, what it does, we can kind of surmise that, but it's something a little more different than the typical sundial. And all 4 of these of his books are signed. I've had them for years. But someone who is into electromagnetism wants to learn about this, wants signed copies, well, I got you. All right, what's next? This is like $50. This JR token. It's really clean. I narrowed this down for US. That's the bind on it. Part 2 of the Book of Lost Tales. Now I got that from the guy down in Copley, Bath area. Bath, Akron, Ohio, that area. Where I got some pens, some watches, a bunch of GPS that are in that box too. I was saying as like those charger things. There's like 15 GPS in there. GPS units, the lifetime maps ones. Some TIOC optical drives for CDs. Like $50 each. Like 4 or 5 of those. But anyhow, yeah, I got that book there. B1. You win with people. Let's It's not going to fit in there, but you went with People by Woody Hayes. I don't want to take the chance. Oh. Should fit right in here. B2. Maybe if I chose not to do this with my lower bed, maybe it's time to get a new mattress in a king size. My wife is small. She's 5'3". She likes to sleep diagonally. So sometimes I'm like right on the very edge. I go nudge her all the time. It's like, hey, roll over. This is an interesting book. If You Could See Inside. It's a 1950 book. To Bobby from The Perches. Doesn't have to be a apostrophe, right? If You Could See Inside. Interesting book. This is by Herath. What's her name? Neuruth. Neurath. If You Could See Inside. Look that one up. I'm going to Terrapig just to make sure, validate that they do sell. Yeah. With Dust Jacket, it's going to be a much easier $150 sale. But I'll still get over $100 for a book I paid 50 cents for. If You Could See Inside. Neurath. Neurath. And that is one I just didn't know. It was like I just saw an older kids, an older buying an older book and looked it up. Like, oh, okay. I'll get that and wait. None of these are small enough to really fit in that. It's too small, won't fit. Uh-oh. Someone's got a problem then. Alien, another franchise book. Is James Bond's. Had those for a while. Just did a sell somewhere on those. Some suspense horror. All I see right there is Big Dick. See? I wasn't wrong. We have, see these franchise books. Horror, suspense. I mean, it's not the only thing I look for, but. All right. Well, while I'm standing up, B6. B6. Footsteps on the Sands. Not really something that's going to sell fast, but it's signed. That book itself does sell. My Footsteps, Sands of Time. It does sell, not a whole lot, but it's signed, so. D6. And watch this. I'm going to run out of room. No, this John Paul Jones, not the guy from Led Zeppelin. An interesting library bind, slow seller, but they do sell for like $30. B6. Now I believe it's the this Nancy Drew. Should. All right. So this is a 3 that I got up in Ashtabula. I just grabbed them and they were $1 something a book. You know, they were older permabinds. It was better off I just put them in a set of 3. I mean, it has 9 views in a day. Somebody paid $30 for them. B7. I want to be careful with that one because they aren't cheap. B7. I could, well, I don't, not right now. I don't have any smaller books. Get another train. And then these other ones are more coffee table size. This book. This book, coffee table size. This one I got a while ago, and there's a water that collects. Water that collects the back of the Fiesta. The bag I had these books in slipped off the back seat where that water collects at, and like this and a couple other smaller books. Another one was like 8088 and 8084 chip whatever. That one did sell. It was like $60 or something. But you can get a little bit of water damage, but if you look at the other listings, a lot of them are like, oh, it's damaged in one way or another. So these are coffee table. Those go on a whole different bookshelf. Speaking of my eBay envelope order, which I should probably do, you got to get it by the end of this month. Use your coupon by the end of this month. I got to get the bigger envelopes, like the 12 by 15s. Unless it would be substantially cheaper for me to just get them from Supply Hut, which I'll just go drive the half an hour down there. But I need to get more 6x9 envelopes or 6x8 or whatever size the DVD ones are. Get 2,000 more of those. Those I get for 10 cents each. Got to get some 4x6 because that box is almost empty. By the time I would need to go to Supply Hut again, my supply would be empty. I only need one box of like 250 or something. Because those I'll use those boxes to put like these in thinner books. These fit perfect in those smaller envelopes, 4x6 I think, 4x8 maybe or whatever. All right, what's next in line? Astrology of the Seers. Should be that one. Am I missing comments? No. I really tried. Better there. I'll fit better like that. And then my twice a year sale, I will be starting at the end of this month, and it'll go until like July 5th or something, usually the day after, July 4th. I think that's a Tuesday or whenever. Doesn't matter now. And then after that, that's when I do a much, much bigger calling of books and disc media. I'll take the disc media up to the exchange, see what they take. And then I used to take stuff or send stuff to World of Books. Declutter, they haven't been open the past 2 times. So I started selling Declutter or World of Books. I'm going to start scanning a whole bunch of stuff that I know that they had, that they would have taken before, but the order was too small for me to actually want to sell. I scanned them again, like, oh, no. And that was with like 30 items they weren't taking. They only wanted to take 1 book for like 12 cents. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not doing that anymore. So now I'll just take the rest up to half price with all the books and everything else when that time comes. And then I'll have a lot more room, and I can negotiate some more movement of stuff in boxes to accommodate more space to get more of the newer stuff in. Because, I mean, some of these books, no, not that one. Some of these, they'll stick around for a couple of years. Books, I'll give a longer stretch of time to. In order to stand a chance to sell. This one's signed. So a very, very fast-selling book. It sells a lot. But anything by this guy as signed, nothing really comes up as signed. And it's not like, so I type in his name, whatever it was, Rudolph Windsor, like Windsor, Michigan, the Windsor engine, Ford engine. Nothing's massive comes up on it, but it's signed, so it'll stand a much better chance to sell for a little more. So she says there's something missing in me, and it's something, it's deep in me, and she's complaining about not having that thing that's missing. Where'd you go, Big Dick? Weren't you just around here? That's what's missing. B9. This is a fly leaf. Fly, as in a little bug, and leaf. Our cat drags leaves in here all the time. Oh, did I put the astrology book in here? Yes. This is probably loud enough to where you can't hear it, but YouTube's going to pick up the melody and flag the video, which I don't care. I see a few here. Thanks for sticking around. I sell physical media, and these ones I've had for a while. So this book right here, with God in Russia, this hardcover sells for like $100. This is a paperback, but the hardcover sells for like $100. All right, so let's see if I can skip down to. I really don't want to. Because then that starts to misalign everything. Hans. Because you weren't getting the thing that you're missing. Now you want him dead? Damn, girl. P10. Well, I know I can't get that next book in here. Because that's about a $200 book coming up. B10. So this right here, this watches price guide thing. So I got it from that guy who, short story, I've known the guy, not really known. I've seen him in different thrift stores throughout the past couple decades. I ran into him down at the Copley Fairlawn Salvation Army end of last year. I took him down my other Invicta watch, the Bulova watch, and a couple others. He bought those for pretty much, I got this watch for free. And then he bought me lunch. Because he owns the building where a restaurant called Arthur Treacher's is at. And there used to be a couple more down in that area. So I just went down to his place, I think this past weekend or something. And I got some pens, some frames, the GPS units, like 6, 7 laptops I had to take apart, which all the boards are down here, the RAM, a handful of other things I took apart. In that book, because he, in his office, he probably has 1,000 little watches. He fixes, repairs them, and sells them. What he does is retired, right? But this book right here, it's up for $196. The one listed is a little more than that, and what they sell for is anywhere from like $160 to about $200. So that right there paid for everything. For what I gave him. Paid for everything. And I asked him about like watch repair, clock repair books, and anything in regards to that. And he grabbed this, and this is even an ex-library. From where? Medina or Summit? Let's see. Usually, it would have a sticker on it to show on there was. So it could have been an Akron library, which would be east of where he's at, or it would be Medina County, which would be west of where he lives at, or Cuyahoga County, which would be north of where he lives at, or Stark County, where the Football Hall of Fame's at, which would be south of that. So I don't know which library he got it from, but it's 2018. It's an 8-year-old book that's $200. But it's a comprehensive. It's a lot of watches. Let's go. What's a good brand? Breitling, Cartier. Cartier, 4,000. Is this 80,000? $80,000 for that watch right there. 8 years ago, it's probably worth more now. Ben Russ is kind of common. Breitling. $16,000. $8,000. Yeah, Cartier is going to be a lot more. That one can wait. Let's get to that, I wouldn't quite say golden hour. It's getting to where it's warming up a bit. And even though the sun's not done casting to here until like 1 o'clock, but it's overcast right now. But if that sun was blasting, it'd be coming in and it'd be casting like right about here. So I have these Venetian blinds that I shut at that time to keep some of that sunlight out. Fortunately, it's overcast. Because if it wasn't, it'd be warm back here too. Free Willy. Now that Free Willy, I've never found one, but I hear the Free Willy Blu-ray. It's like $400 or $500 or something. And that's not even. Oh, that came from here anyhow. Shocking stories of the Cleveland mob. B11. I mean, if 5 people want to hang out and lurk and listen, that's fine. Lurk, L-U-R-K. Remember the first time I went into a live stream years and years and years ago. I went into one. And I was like, hey, I'll be back. But I'm going to keep playing in the background. And when I come back, the chat was like, oh man, you're a lurker. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? They're like, that it just means that you're just kind of hanging out, doing nothing, but kind of supporting the channel by just watching. Like, well, oh, okay. Because I didn't know the fancy jargon. But that's what a lurker was. Someone who just kind of lurks, just kind of hangs out. I thought lurker, like you're trying to say I'm digitally being a voyeur while you're making your video public. What are you talking? See, we learn something every day. Oh. The Neuromancer. So if you're into steampunk, this is the book right here. This is the 10th anniversary edition. This is the first of the 10th anniversary. First. And this is like $300. If this was more tattered and stuff at $300, I wouldn't bother with this, but this is very clean. When it goes to get shipped out, I'll put a thick button, tape this right, or not tape it, but seal it. And it's kind of like that Return of the Living Dead book I sold for like $200 or whatever it was. The right buyer Right person at the right time. It's a red letter book, nothing spectacular about that. Although this cover, if you look at the red letter alphabet book, they all come up with a cat and the letter C. None are with this cover, so I got it because it's different. It's the only one that I've seen, and even in Terapeak, that has this red cover. So I got it. The book itself doesn't really sell a whole lot, but I have one that's different. So someone who's going to want that book is like, oh, that one's different. It's exactly the same, but it's different. And that's like $20, $23. That's where my brain goes. Oh, I don't see many. There's like 2 listed out of the 50 that are listed that look like that one book, kind of like that Return of the Living Dead one. Why is that one more? I have no idea, but I'm going to charge more for it because there's not a lot of them out there. And that, it's an early, I forget who wrote it. It wasn't Raimi. Whoever wrote it. But that one, yeah, it was sold for like $260 or something. Went overseas. So some horror collector. Speaking of horror collectors, it's Stephen King. It's not much. $18. Got 13 views. It'll sell for $15, $16. But I didn't buy it because it's, I'm thinking that it's going to be a $100 Stephen King. I got it because they sell. It's like the Bachman books. You find the Bachman books, which I believe was done by Viking. Maybe it was Plume. But if you find the small ones, those are still like $40, $50, $60. If you find the bigger ones, they're well over $100. Regardless if they're patterned up or not. Fantima. Some might hear that name, Fantima. I think of like those aliens that the Doctor from Voyager named Fantima. Because he didn't really, whatever. But Fantima was also part of a play and some story, kind of like the story behind Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera is loosely based on a true story. Oh, man. Gotta eat less peanut butter. Fantima. Yeah, these books need it done like bad. Because this bin right here has got books tossed in it. This little stack, this box right here. And by the time I'm done with this, what's her name? Corey ten Boom. One's like, well, maybe, no. Either way, the 2 of them are listed for $15. This, my private prayer book right here. So this is why if you're not into books, it may take a little while to kind of get accustomed to certain genres and niches. One genre is religious books. I want to say primarily, but I will go with older religious books. This is my prayer book. So if it wasn't for that, it's well over $100 book. Some tattered dog ears, some writing on it. This was Angela Slack. SLAK. East 53rd Street. Which 53rd? I don't know if the Salvation Army and the Agora, the University Hospital, the Children's Hospital area, is right around that given area. East 53rd in Cleveland, assuming this is Cleveland. But I am on the east side of Cleveland. But if we were to go like numerical blocks wise, we're probably at like east 600. But the numerical blocks end at like 355th, and that is an east link. But this is 1936, so there's different printings. So the first one is 1908, which gets a whole lot more money. This is 1936, leather, My Prayer Book by Reverend F.E. Lasance, Lasance, by Beziger Brothers. $90. I mean, I'll probably sell for around 80, a little under. But for a book I probably paid a quarter for. Look at that old religious stuff. And when you go to the next, yeah, there's two more little religious ones right there. I don't think they're quite as much as this, though. These ones I just listed yesterday. Okay, so Key to Precious Stones. Looks like $40 books. So some of these older ones, people really, I mean, it's an old reference book. It's not really a hot topic. But when the right person comes around, they're like, oh yeah, I'll pay $40 for that, whatever. So yeah, that My Prayer Book is $88, almost $89. And that one's $11. Oh yeah, these I got at call it Disco, the Discovery thrift store. Their sales help proceed cancer research, and that's actually where I got my Univega mountain bike at. Paid $40 for that bike, and it's a I want to say it's 1998 model. That Univega, that exact model, if you go to like Bikepedia or something, that was like $2,800 in 1998. So it makes it like $5,000 today in a mountain bike. And I paid I bought the stuff that I needed. Like the guy ordered some stuff, and I bought some stuff. I paid him for the parts that he bought. He said labor free. Not going to charge me any labor because it took him like a year to get to it. But so for his kind of philanthropy for that, I was like, well, I'll come down, I'll make a video about what he does for his volunteer time, and is what he does, and I have a video of it back in the last year or something. And it's called Walk to Be Well, if I remember right. But certain people in this program, for the Walk to Be Well program, so it's a program for addiction recovery. And there's something that he said while I was talking to him, kind of interviewing him, and this is a real basic interview. Camera set up on this tripod, and we're trying to talk with a cheap microphone. But in the heightened degree of empathy, I forget the context of what started it, but I know the context, but I don't remember all the words that started. Then eventually he said, for someone touched by addiction, because people don't elect, they don't choose. It's not under their own accord to get the feel and the thrive of addiction. They're touched by it, and they like that feeling. I thought that was a very, very interesting way to euphemize you're an addict. And I know people. I know people who are addicts. Who I care deeply about. And so the part that he does is he repairs like better bikes. Giant, Trek, Cannondale, Rally, GT, Gary Fisher, Gary Turner, GT, and he that are better components, better everything. So it'd be basically like a $300 used mountain bike in a store, and people will donate him his bikes, and he redoes like the cables, make sure the stuff is good, and for the they're gifted a bike for certain instances that someone who is more agile enough and dexterous enough to be able to ride a bike to go to and from the different things that they need to go to and from. If someone has the availability for a car or rides or it's close to the buses or something like that, but that's a different story. But people who would benefit best from a bike, he rebuilds the bikes and he gifts them to the program that need the bikes. So they're getting a really, really nice or high-end bike. Well, better than department store bike. So they can get around and better themselves physically and emotionally and mentally and all that other stuff. But short story about that. All because of Discovery Thrift Store. Hope you like the story. B16. So there's a 45-minute video. I believe if you land on my page, that's going to be one. I think it will be like a recommended video. Each time I land on my own page, that usually is a recommended video. But he talks a lot about the program and so on and so forth. And I find it very noble. And this Cartoon Network coloring book is right there. Earthsea, Wizard of Earthsea, or Ursula Le Guin. These three are listed for $92. It's a different cover. It's a way different cover than a lot of them. The year printing on it. 1968, and the other one are 1977. These are 70s. I have it in the actual description box. But these I would have got at the Goodwill up in Ashtabula because of these damn stickers. But to someone who wants an order set of these, and they do sell for right around, individual books can be $25 to $50 for these paperbacks. Interesting story about this. So, Performance Book Bible. Not really a fast seller. Might be a couple that have sold. So, someone came in, got it, shipped it out. It comes back to me. The notation on the bottom was non-deliverable address. So I looked the address up on Google, and as of last year, I think it was 24 or 25, where the address was, you look down that way, and that's nothing but an open field. So I go onto the website, the county website of where that was, and there's no sale, there's no nothing. There's all the more just shows that it's owned by some one person, but the entirety plot of the land. There's no house there. So the guy eventually opens a case saying, "Hey, I didn't get this." So of course eBay dings me because they didn't get it. And because it's a non-deliverable address, it's not a verified address, and eBay, well, you have the option to use the address that you typed in or the verified address. They didn't use the verified address, whatever, I don't know. So, like, I don't know, a month later, he said something. And I was like, oh, I didn't get this. And he opens up the case, and then I just refund him. Like, oh, yeah, I got it back. But I wasn't going to refund you so you can learn about your mistake. I don't know if you're going to ask me something or not.
Just waiting for you to finish your sentence.
So then I list it again, and the same guy buys it. All right, let me look at the one that I canceled or the return, and look at that previous order, and look at the new order. It's the exact same address. So I read the guy, I was like, no, I'm canceling this order because you're going to have this sent to the exact same address where it got sent back from. You don't learn your lesson. 3-4 days later, I get a message from someone else, and I'm like, hey, I want to buy this book. My buddy tried to buy it, and it said that it's not your page isn't allowing him to buy it. Like, okay, so now that guy just got not only the person who sent me the message, but the guy who was trying to buy it just got reported to eBay for trying to circumvent a block. I blocked him for that purpose. That now twice he's ordered something that's going to get sent to an address, that's going to get back to me, it's going to cost me more money. No. So you want this book so bad, you should have learned your lesson. You didn't get it the first time. Oh, what could have happened? Why did I get it? Contact the post office. Well, it says on the tracking that it was a non-deliverable address. How do I fix that? Oh, you didn't fix it? Cool story. I don't run into things like that often. Usually if I get something back and it's a non-deliverable address, most of the time nobody will even freaking say anything. They'll just be like, what the? I don't know. And I'll keep the money because it costs me money to ship it there. I don't get charged for the return shipping on something that's non-deliverable. Point still stands. Oh man, I didn't get my $1 million Maserati because your address isn't valid. I'm suing you. It kind of goes with like some of those videos that I see every once in a while. Like I had made a couple kind of like generically the day in the life of a reseller. And that's about the extreme craziness right there. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah, that's about the craziest thing right there. That'll might get a rude buyer every once in a while. Like I got a negative feedback that eBay still hasn't removed. Top rated seller, they returned the item, they wrapped it up in tape, ruined the sunglasses. I refunded them 50%. eBay shows that it's completely refunded. I'm top rated seller. Case was cited in my favor, and eBay has yet to remove the feedback. Like a month later, I called them like 4 or 5 times. Like, oh yeah, that's being it shouldn't have to be processed. Top rated seller. I don't know how to code for computers, but that seems to be one of those things. If so, you could do this in formal logic. If and only if user is top rated, and then you would have multiple branch downs. Did seller refund? Yes. Any negative feedback and metrics automatically removed. I don't know why they can't code that. It's not that difficult. I mean, they seem to automatically know when you don't respond to a return case or you don't respond to something else. They know instantly. If you got 4 days to handle it, to say yes. They used to make returns automatic to where you as a seller never had to do anything. It would just come straight up. Like you would see the message, and then if you don't do anything after 4 days, eBay automatically sends the shipping label, and it's from there. Now, since like sometime last year, year before, now you have to respond. And it's not in any policies. And I looked, and I had somebody I talked on the phone with a while ago. They eventually removed the negative feedback I got from this situation. I was like, where does it say that changed? All these other times I never did anything. So why am I going to all of a sudden think that one time out of 100 times that now I have to completely change everything that I'm accustomed to because of the way all your guys' policies work. It's not in any policy change, any policy revision. So why did it change? And he didn't let anybody know. So now you guys are going to get, So this right here. So this has a little felt on it. So it's called flocking. 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 When it's like a textile. Or so it's textile. It's not relief, so it's not like stamped to where it's embossed or relief, but it's textile. Okay. So we're learning stuff for you guys. But yeah, it's always nice when eBay changes on something that's not, it's policy, but they don't acknowledge the policy or whichever. It's like that one negative feedback isn't detrimental because it's this guy. I mean, they were custom Oakley sunglasses. Custom. Which meaning they're not going to have the model number on them. And I saw plenty of sunglasses enough to feel those ones as opposed to the way on like a fake Oakley's built and a real Oakley or a fake quality brand is built and a good, that same quality brand, a good, the way the company builds theirs and the way a knockoff is, you can tell by the feel, the texture, all that stuff. You can tell. This isn't like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie knockoff or whichever tour. Like you really can't tell. Yes, you can tell. On just the inexperienced people, yeah, I mean, there's Olympus brand electronics like cameras, and then there's knockoffs called Olympia. Somebody who really doesn't pay attention, they're like, oh no, that's a knockoff. And they're like, no, it's not. And then that seller will just go meander to someone else. Like, no, Olympia is not a brand of camera. It's a knockoff to Olympus. Those frames had the same embossed Oakley on it, made in USA. It didn't have a model number because customs don't have model numbers. And the guy leaves me a negative. This is the worst experience ever. Like, dude, you fucking did it to yourself. And I said, yeah, you can return them for partial refund because you don't know what custom sunglasses are. And the guy sells custom Oakley, so he has sales of customs. Like, then you don't know? Whatever. But the story's done. Oh, man, Derek, you're an asshole. No, I'm not, actually. Most people are assholes to themselves, and then they just get pissed when they get called out on being. And there's plenty of times. I mean, I have sold a pair of, it wasn't Oakley, it was Ray-Ban. The person got them, like, these are very, very flimsy, cheap. I was like, that Ray-Ban makes so many different styles and thicknesses and gauges and stuff for theirs. I'm not even going to argue it because I kind of thought the same thing, too. When I had them in my head, that might even be in, like, a video I have. A video, not like a live stream. Like, I don't think that these ones are actually Ray-Ban. Sliver, $25. This one does not really have many listings of this specific cover artwork. And I'm honest when I need to be honest, but when somebody tries to pull 1% of bullshit on someone who knows a little more, sorry about your luck. You're about to get fucking called out. This is what it is, man. All right, so we have Jim Bishop. Jim Bishop. None of these four are anything spectacular. There's even 7. Well, I guess word got out. Derek's live streaming, talking eBay drama. Let's go listen what he's talking about. George Orwell. Let's get these ones in here first. B17. Yeah, I've been at eBay too long and I read the cursory of like policy changes. I don't read the in depth, and I'm not going to speculate on like new policy changes. I'm just not going to speculate on it. There's a lot of videos out there right now of the new stuff. It's like, oh, eBay is going to keep the overages in the shipping. I don't charge for shipping unless it's auction. eBay's going to do this and do that, and then there's all these videos that are just mere speculation. Like, say right now, the new Stargate series is canceled, but back in November, it was good to go. It was all speculation until you get the first episode. It's all speculation. It's all tentative. Until these policies roll out, it's all speculation. It's all interpretation. And if they're going to keep the differences of what you charge and what it costs you, that's up to eBay. You're on their platform. You want to drive a car on the public roads of the United States? Get a driver's license. If you do something wrong, they fucking take that shit away from you. It's on their platform. So a lot of times, the grievances. So this is the 79th printing, 1984. It's still like a $15 book. I'm not going to name any channels. I didn't watch any of them. I watched a couple of the other channels that people are talking about what other channels are saying. And then I commented on something on a Facebook. It's like, well, you could just easily resolve that by just doing free shipping. Oh, I don't want to lose money on shipping. Well, then you're not in the right industry. You're not in the right mindset, the right thinking. You could charge shipping, yes. Myself, I could see that something totally, let's just say it sells for average $22. So they could sell anywhere from $18 to $25. I'm adding that roughly $4 or $5 shipping cost that other people have on there, and then it's the $8 or the $18. That's $23. I'm just going to come across with an average amount, have mine a little higher than that average amount in case someone wants to scoop that at that price, and they have best offers on and send out offers. If you don't want to lose money on shipping, but you're doing best offers, which Rob Peter does pay Paul. It's all the same pocket, the same amount. I'm paying $9 for something and charging $5 shipping, and it's $14. Somebody who's charging $14 free shipping, it's the same fucking amount. I can even sell like that. I don't know for who's ever right here right now, but I got this big TIAC Tascam thing, probably weighs 40 pounds. Pro Studio cassette player thing. It's like $400 free shipping. I'm going to lose out on shipping. I just want to get 300 plus for it. So that's how you resolve that issue with the whole free, with that policy. That's tentative. And then when it opens up and then starts, people start seeing on that is just a lot of computer logistics, coding. Imagine that. They can code for that, but they can't code to have a feedback removed from something that's someone who's a top-rated seller. You have to adapt. And that is the outcome of what most of the comments in other videos were, which have you. I was like, you just have to adapt. Every single business, you got options. Something's going to happen. It's going to end up costing you more money. You could do one of two things. So you can either not do anything, or three options. You can not do anything and just kind of that. You could stop selling whatever you're doing, or you can stop doing whatever you're doing, or you can adapt. Oh man, the price of gas went up. Every single business in the world is gonna go under. They adapt. Everything's just an end result on the dollar, is all it is. So that's my rant on that. To me, I fucking care less. Last Boy Scout. Oh. So adapt. I used to have a t-shirt back in my formative years, probably back in the 90s. It was like this is like a, not industrial arts, home ec. Like we had to make a screen design that we did a coordination with industrial arts with the CAD, computer assisted drafting or drawing or whatever it is. So we made a design with CAD, and then you could have it like bettered up, make it look really, really good with different types of templates and stuff. And then with the home ec, we're making t-shirts. So you had to make a t-shirt, and then you had to, you got like the fabric, and you had to sew the shirt together for home economics, like sewing, cooking, math, economics and stuff. And it was like a mountain bike, and it had a broken wheel. Whatever it was broken on it, and my phrase was innovate or die. It's kind of like the phrase, war is the mother of all inventions. If you can't adapt. So this Underworld one right here, $30, 30. You can't adapt to the changes. Times take and go, changes. B2. How long is this stream? I could have gotten all the CDs and the books. I still have that one. So $30 for that Underworld paperback. If I do this, no. What was the other last change that they did that people were? Oh, you had to promote. It used to be promoting at 1%. And they're like, well, now the minimum is 2%. Oh my goodness, the internet caught fire because of that. You're not going to force me to do 2%, you motherfucking eBay. No, they're not forcing you to do anything. Well, no, it's just you got to pay to race to the top. Well, then pick different things that sell easier without you having to promote as high. XYZ fixes ZYX. And I just do 2%. That way it'll be on the internet searches, and I do the international offsite. I mean, that offsite, I'm charged $150 a month, and some of those things may never sell. I'm charged $150. And I could have something that's listed for 8 months, and every single month is charged $2, and then it's just saying, and then that's a $10 sale, so I've lost money on that. Have to adapt. Have to eat costs. And I can understand some costs to much smaller hobby sellers. So whereas UFOs are real. Oh, I already had it, right? B2. I can understand some hobby sellers that would be there you go. That's about as good as you're going to get until your girlfriend says something. Why are you looking at Marilyn Monroe's boobies? Because they're on a dust jacket of a book. That's why. Why have you been looking at that book for an hour? I haven't. I've just been looking at the cover for an hour. Oh, I didn't get that stuff packaged. It's 12:30. We have to leave in about a half an hour. All right. Speaking of, some more on that one there, huh? So we will get these ones in here. These are going to go way back. Mini Monster Book of Rock. Okay, so that's a like a song book. I got all kinds of stories for you guys. Still 5 lurkers, that's fine. If it says something that you agree with or don't, cool. It just tells me I know how to use words for the most part. All right, Michelle remembers. So Michelle remembers. So first one of these I got was at the Hope Warehouse store, which every once in a while when I go there, they'll let me go in the back and kind of look at all this stuff ahead of time. The first one I got, I have no barcode on it, but Michelle remembers is like this is the height of the satanic panic. She was like a child in the midst of her parents being like Satan worshippers or something like that. Just after midnight on June 24th, 1977, Father Guy Mirvilli, pastor of Sacred Heart Church in Victory, British Columbia, sensed the bonfire that is a traditional feast. St. John Baptist Michelle Smith, right, stood by and watched. Dr. Lawrence Fisher until the photograph to the scene. He took a number of time exposures in the several photos that seems to be glowing presence, apparently haloed. Photographic experts have been able to explain the mysterious image. Something about like being possessed or something like that. But there's, I probably could. I've sold one before. And that one has been up for 3 weeks since I've done any books for this. 3 weeks. It has 51 views. It's $48. That's what I mean. I'll price it a little higher. And I do the best offers, 20% best offers. So if someone comes in, that'll be $8. A little more than $8. Someone comes in with $40 offer. Why am I going to bother with the shipping? This just throws everything completely off for everything. I'm just looking for the totality. Plus, rumor has it, Shotokan, that eBay pushes free shipping. Listings with free shipping more than they do. Rumor has it. To me, it doesn't matter because I've done free shipping as long as I can remember. All right. We won't worry about those right now. Hollow Planet. These bigger cookbooks. Saturday night something. It was Saturday night, and we were all wrapped up and no place to go. You get a Meatloaf. B18. All wrapped up, no place to go. All wrapped up, no place to go. All wrapped up, no place to go. All wrapped up, and no place to go. All wrapped up, no place to go. Just in case you forgot the lyrics. It's all wrapped up and no place to go. B18. B18. All wrapped up and no place to go. All wrapped up. I was wrong. You were blind. All the time. Thinking of you. Lonely night. 'Cause 2 out of 3. Yeah, I gotta get some socks on. Get ready to get my rock on. That's not right. Gotta get ready to go. They're about 45 minutes off here. Gonna be there at 2. Go to a couple stores. So at least I got the most part. This stuff here isn't too difficult because most of these boxes up here are missing books. So I'll just grab a box, fill them up, and be done with those. For the peoples who are here. All wrapped up, no place to go. Some offers on these. Marshall Crenshaw, Mary Jean, and 9 others. Oh no. Disney Holidays Unwrapped. CD, Bella Thorne, Zendaya, Debbie, Ryan, Olivia. I'm going to guess. Oh, yeah, it's a CD. $33 for. I'm just sending the offers out. But there are plenty of 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 300. Well, I want to go that extreme. There's plenty of $20 to $50, $60 CDs out there. Plenty. Oh, man, you're buying all the good stuff, not saving any for anybody else. Go to another store. Go to another thrift store. I love that complaint I get from, I don't get it, but other people on other channels and other platforms like, oh, yeah, you resellers are scum. You guys take all the good stuff and don't leave anything for any of the good stuff for anyone else. Who really needs it? Well, if you found yourself to one thrift store, I can probably guarantee you that you know where there's another thrift store at. Or you could just sit back and just wait a couple weeks, and chances are something better will probably come out that no reseller will find. It's like someone's complaining that someone drank all the good water while sitting at the pool of a glacier. You drink all the good water. It's like, dude, just take the cup and just scoop snow off. There you go. It's like the stuff just flows in and out of thrift stores, in and out of these places so damn fast. Resellers aren't keeping all the good stuff. Primarily they're keeping it from the landfill, and they're making money doing it. That's my take on that. A couple people are dropping out. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you guys being here. I got to get ready to go. Thanks.